Kia ora team, and welcome to another online tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about units, specifically for distance and time. Okay, I want to start off by saying that for distance, our standard unit is meters, okay, and our standard unit for time is seconds. We always try to use these in our answers unless asked to use something else. Okay, so we want to convert things into these, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. The different measurements for distance and time and how we convert between them. I'm going to start with distance and then go to time. The smallest measurement of time that you will most likely use will be our millimeter. When we deal with distance, we usually measure in millimeters, centimeters, okay, meters, and kilometers or kilometers. Okay. Now, how do I convert between these things? Well, milli actually means 1,000th of, okay? So 1,000th of a meter. So if I have 1,000 millimeters in a meter, I'm going to divide by 1,000. Okay. Centimeter, cent meaning 100th of, okay, means that there'll be 100 centimeters in a meter. So to make our centimeters into meters, I'm going to divide by 100. 10 millimeters go into a centimeter. So if I want to change my millimeters into centimeters, I divide by 10. Okay. We can see that if we divide by 10 and then divide by 100, moving from millimeter to centimeter to meter, that's the same as dividing by our 1,000. Okay, so from meters into kilometers, kilometer means 1,000 meters. If we have a meter, it takes 1,000 of those to make a kilometer. Therefore, much like our millimeter to meter, we're going to divide by 1,000. Okay. The relationship going the other way is exactly the same, but the opposite. So for a kilometer, we have 1,000 meters, so we're going to times by 1,000. For our meters, we have 100 centimeters, so we're going to times by 100. And for our millimeters, we're going to have 1,000 millimeters per meter, so we're going to times by 1,000, and I'm just going to throw that on. So again, kilometer to meter, we have 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer, so we times by 1,000. Okay. When we convert from meters to centimeters, there's 100 of them in a meter, so we times by 100. There are 10 millimeters per centimeter, so when we convert from centimeters to millimeter, we times by 10. Now, thinking about our meters to millimeter, there is 1,000 millimeters per meter, so if I'm changing from meters or converting from meters into millimeter, okay, I'm going to times by 1,000. The beauty about converting in distance is everything's to an order of 10, so we have these really nice conversions of times 10 times 100 times 1,000. Okay, let's look at time, where things aren't quite in sets of 10. So typically, having dealt with time, you'll deal with time in seconds, okay, minutes, hours, days, and years. Okay, month being in between that, but it's not always consistent. Different amounts of days in different months, so we're going to skip over that. We have 60 seconds in a minute. That means that we need to divide the number of seconds we have by 60 to make up how many minutes we have. So we divide by 60. If we have a set of minutes or an amount of minutes and we want to know how many hours that is, we again divide by 60. There are 24 hours in a day. So if we have in a number of hours and we want to figure out how many days that is, we divide by 24. There are 365, kind of technically 365 and a quarter days in a year. So if we have an amount of days, assuming that we're on Earth, okay, we're going to divide that by 365 to figure out how many years that is. Okay. And again, much like with our distance, we're just going to go in the opposite to find out those conversions. So there are 365 days in a year. So if I have 1 year, I've got 365 days. So we times the number of years by 365. Okay. There are 24 hours in a day. So if I've got 1 day, I've got 24 hours. So we times the number of days by 24 to find out how many hours that is. There are 60 minutes in an hour. So I have a number of hours. I times that by 60 to figure out how many minutes that is. Okay. And if I've got a number of minutes, I know there's 60 seconds per minute. So if I want to figure out how many seconds that is, I times by 60. That's how we use our understanding of units, time, and measurement, as well as a little bit of math, to convert distance and time into our standard units. Remembering that when we give an answer, we always want to give an answer in meters or seconds if possible. Sometimes they might ask for a distance in centimeters, then give it to them in centimeters. But let's aim to use these when we can. Hopefully this will help you get out there and get into some mechanics team. Good luck.